I am Chris Erkley. Alongside me, Will Holden. Special guest also from the Centennial St. Bonnie game tonight, Mr. Pep Fernandez. He was out there. That was a huge clash between some Titans here in California. A big game, Pep. I know you were on the sidelines. It was
wild, guys, and thanks for having me on HS Game Time
Anytime,
late
Pep,
night.
come by.
It's good to be here. Yeah, it's if you heard EPJ breaking it down earlier, it's like kind of like the BCS. If you lose one game early, you're kind of out of the state bowl game, talk. So Centennial needed this one, especially against another ranked opponent. Didn't go their way, but it was a close game. It was a great game. The place was packed, and it came down to the finish. We kind of knew that going in, that two awesome teams would be battling down to the wire. We have the highlights from Centennial High School tonight. The Huskies and the Seraphs. There's head coach Matt Logan for Centennial coming out. Picking up in the first quarter, Seraphs strike first. Jordan Ferris takes that pass from Mark Evans, goes in 7-zip. Still in the first frame. Hayden Gavitt on the keeper. Nice shot on the referee, but there's Gavitt. He gets in there 7-7. Still in the opening frame. St. Bonaventure's Zach Green. He takes this in on the touchdown run, and St. Bonaventure goes up 14-7. Now we go to the second quarter. Back and forth we go. Romello Goodman gets in for Centennial. That makes it 14-14 later in the second. How about some Centennial defense? His name is King Battle, and he's got the sack. Then later in the second quarter, Centennial back in business on offense. Gavitt to Isaac Crandall, and the Huskies go up 20-14 at halftime. Now we fast forward to the third. Centennial's defense stepping up again. Milo Jordan trips up the quarterback, and he has the sack. Then later in the third, though, St. Bonaventure would just not go away. Sean Wick, the touchdown run, 21-20, St. Bonnie up. So we go to the fourth quarter. St. Bonaventure looking for more. Mark Evans, the touchdown pass there, and then Seraphs, they go for the two-point conversion. It's Ferris on the reverse, and St. Bonaventure goes up 29-20. Still in the fourth quarter, though. Centennial not giving up. Hayden Gavitt throws the strike to Giles Guy Williams. That makes it 29-27. But St. Bonaventure gets the ball back, gets in victory formation, and they win it 29-27, your final score after eating the clock at the end. And after the game, Matt Logan was the gracious loser. He knew it was a battle. He knew it was going to be close, and he knew it was a very good team. He said there's areas that his team, Centennial, really needs to clean up if they're going to bounce back next week playing on the road at Mater Dei. We had Matt Logan, and here's what he had to say after the loss to St. Bonnie. So what Coach Logan was saying was there was the point where St. Bonaventure scored their last touchdown, and they went for the two-point conversion, which made it a two-possession game for Centennial. So Centennial was really backed up against the wall with about 2 minutes, 50 seconds to play. They needed the ball twice, and time just ran out. I mean, these two teams could have kept battling all night long, going back and forth, and St. Bonaventure just had the better score when the clock struck zero tonight.
Ballsy move by them, and it paid
Very
off.
much so. I mean, what was the feel, of them going for the two-point conversion? What was the chatter on the sideline?
You know what? I think even Matt Logan said, it was a gutty call, but it was probably the right call at the time. And what was weird, coming out of halftime, Centennial started with the ball. They marched down the field. They were in the red zone. They were inside the 10, and they threw the interception. And St. Bonaventure, the guy returned it about 70 yards. They went down. They scored, and that really turned the tide because Centennial had the lead at halftime, got the ball back the first drive of the third quarter, marched down, all the momentum, the crowd's going crazy, boom, interception, St. Bonnie gets the ball, they punch it in, and that was that. St. Bonaventure just, they controlled the game from there. Centennial couldn't do a whole lot on offense in the second half.
Real quick, I was interested in knowing, Hayden Gavitt, obviously a new quarterback for him. Does he have the weapons around him? I know he's got Romello Goodman, but outside Isaac Crandall, wide receiver, who I kind of like, does he have some weapons?
You know what? He did throw a little bit. He was throwing it around, quick little slants, here and there. But obviously, when you're talking Centennial, at least this season, it's their size up front. They're just monsters. And Romello Goodman, a little 5'6" guy, just hides behind that wall, and he just goes for it. But Hayden Gavitt looked good, and he has some weapons. You saw Crandall haul that one, especially the one at the end, to make it close, 29-27. So he, Gavitt, from one of the guys on the sideline, said he's the second fastest guy on the team. So he's a quarterback that has wheels, but he can also throw the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that game was a thriller, and I'm sure undoubtedly that Logan will have Centennial ready to rock and roll next week in week 2.
On the road at Mater Dei.
Yeah, that should be a thriller. Another game that was a thriller tonight, a game that I went to, that was Vista Marietta against Etiwanda, a game that would go down to the very last second. New Vista QB Nick Stevens finds Eric Piconis for the first touchdown of the game. That would be 7-0 Vista with the early lead, but the Eagles would fire back as Etiwanda's QB Larry Cutbirth, he has mobility and he runs in for the score. 7-7 would be the tie. Runs right out of the back of the end zone.
Move a little bit for 6'5".
Special teams for Vista, though, would step up big tonight. 2 block punts for touchdowns. This one was by Michael Almador, and that is 14-7. They would go 21-7 with another one of those. And next, it's a jump ball in the end zone now in the third quarter, and it's Vista's Larry Parrish saying, that ball's mine. I'll have that back. Thank you very much for the interception. From there, Mr. Do-It-All, Sua Cravens, runs in for the 20-yard score. 28-7 Vista in the third quarter. But in the fourth quarter, this game would be far from over. It's Cutbirth connecting with a wide-open Rafael Barr for the touchdown. My camera started spasming. It was so far of a play. 28-14, still in the fourth quarter. Eagles quickly score again as Cutbirth runs in for his second TD of the game. 28-21, and the rally would continue in the fourth as the Vista collapse continues with another wide-open connection. The secondary was sleeping. 28-28, and now with 1 minute left in the game, Vista trying to make something happen, but it's a botched snap by Stevens. The ball is turned over to Etiwanda. Would it be a collapse for Vista? No. Why, you ask? Because of Mr. Sua Cravens making a huge interception with only 30 seconds left, and that would set up Mr. Goldenfoot for the Broncos. Tyler Rasa, that's all good from 38 yards.
Right down the middle.
Vista wins 31-28 as time runs out. It was a thriller, to say the least, for the Broncos. It was almost Heartbreak City blowing that 28-7 lead. Will, though, we were excited about Vista from the start. They weren't perfect tonight, but got the job done.
And that would have been huge for area teams had we, that's our number 1 and number 2, Centennial Falls, Vista Falls in week 1. That would have been some major implications for the Inland Empire.
I got to say tonight, Stevens, you could tell as a junior he hadn't had a varsity snap yet. You could tell like on that snap situation with a minute left and on a couple of decisions that he made on an interception that he had and whatnot and a couple other reads. He was maybe a little uneasy. They actually subbed him out for their sophomore that's been competing with him in the offseason. He'll probably settle in as probably a game like this is as nerve-wracking as it was for him for a first game, one that's got to kind of, slow his heart down, I guess, a little bit next time he comes into this type of situation.
Well, it's good to have a guy like a Sua Cravens. Like you said, not only is he's going to pick his quarterback up on the offensive side of things, picks him up on the defensive side of things. It's no question in my mind that he's the top junior recruit in this area.
No doubt. You had UCLA there tonight taking a look at him. He was a threat on both sides of the ball. Really, he's probably the best tailback that they have on the team, but they can't run the guy dog-tired the whole game, so they kind of save him until the middle of the third quarter to run the ball when the passing attack wasn't really working. The running game was kind of in between marginal hit and miss before Cravens got in there. Then he's just kind of a do-it-all threat and just kind of ran amok and took control of the game basically. And no secret there that Cravens is the fuel in that car over there in Vista.
I don't think there's any question about it.
Now turning the page over to Colton and North. Colton about biggest collapses can be between last year with the CAF title.
Not a good situation they've got going on over there.
We can take a look at the game tonight. They played North. North, of course, a team that is no slackers. And a 57-yard touchdown pass would be the way that North would get things going. That would put them up 7-0. And the scoring attack would continue for North. This time, it's George with the 25-yard TD pass to Peck. He does the old dive into the corner of the end zone, hits the pylon, touchdown 14-0 North. And Colton, number 45, Brandon Sabalos, maybe related to Cedric Sabalos, with speed like that, 54-yard run.
Where do they come from?
Not quite good enough for a score, though. 14-3, though, would be the field goal for Colton. But North would pretty much take over from there. Here's a touchdown pass from George to Peck once again, 20-3. And then George would continue just like his distant cousin Jeff George, 27-3.
Somebody
with a
stop
long touchdown connection. Colton would try to come back here with a 44-yard pass to Gabriel Lopez from Danny Smith. Let me turn the page. 27-10. Colton would cut the lead, but from there it would be all North. George with an 80-yard pass to Denzel Foster. Take a look at this fancy footwork. There he goes off to the races. Looks like Louis Amistoy in his track and field days back in Banning and Hemet. 34-10. And then George once again with another big touchdown connection. This one a 38-yarder to Peck, his favorite target of the night. 41-10. Colton with a kind of a doomsday scenario after last week's fiasco, and then just blowout city today.
Well, I mean, losing Coach Richard Bray, I mean, that hurts so much. You wonder, there's been a lot that has come out about Coach Bray here in the last week about leaving leaving this team on the sidelines of a loss. It was a tough situation. His family, he kind of felt, was disrespected. One of his sons on the coaching staff, and decided, at halftime, one of the administration members had asked his son to leave, decided that was actually going to be a situation where he was going to leave as well if his son was getting taken off the field. And so, it's one of those situations where it's unfortunate. People were kind of joking around a little bit with it, because it was such a serious situation. Someone asked me, well, what does that say about a coach if he's leaving his team at halftime? I said, well, he's gonna be the first in the line at Denny's, if nothing else. Yeah. But really, I mean, a serious situation now as you see Colton gets blasted. They're a CIF title team a year ago. And now they're kind of left picking up the pieces.
As a Colton team like that, you were riding so high with that CAF title, and then probably coming into tonight, what's kind of your mental state, do you think, when they were taking the field?
It's tough, I mean, your coach is a guy that's telling you never to give up, always give 100%, and then he's not really practicing what he preaches. That's a difficult situation. Also a difficult situation to run into a team like North that's got all sorts of talent. I mean, George behind, big lefty, can throw the football a little bit to guys like Justin Gregory, Aaron Peck, guys that were either on our all-area team or just missed them. North is a team that can blow up in any game, and certainly this was a recipe for disaster for Colton today.
Colton only 0-2 so far, but it's been a rough 0-2. I mean, have you ever seen a team just kind of fall from glory so quickly like this?
The glory days are clearly behind them at this point. They're kind of left trying to salvage something. A team that's not left trying to salvage something here, certainly in the early going, is trying to think here, Rancho Verde.
But of course.
And that's actually where we're going here with the second segment. We're going to be chatting with Breon Redmond, wide receiver for Rancho Verde.
38-10 win for Rancho tonight. That was big for them. Let's also take a look at some of the other big scores. Plenty of big scores around. Another big game of the night, a national television game on FSN. 21-20 Norco over Crenshaw. Huge statement game for Norco there. Big win for the Gearhart family. Arlington 20-14. That was a game that Pep was at last night. Arlington looking pretty good.
Goal line stand in that game.
Notre Dame, I don't know if Dave Zink was calling the plays for them last night, but not a good game for them, 49-7. Citrus Hill game that I was at, Mr. Payne, the running back for Citrus Hill, was bringing the pain to Moreno Valley, running all over the place on them, 25-0.
Eric Zomalt has a certain resemblance,
yes,
coach
DMX.
over there.
We'll reference that later. Anyways, the game Pep was at St. Bonnie, 29-27 over Centennial. We doubt Centennial will hang their heads too long on that one, as they will be ready to go to work. Corona, Will's favorite guy, Mr. Truelove. Rough game for them, a lot of penalties.
Had his struggles. There are 38 penalties in that game, most penalties I've ever seen in a single game in my entire life.
They're going to have to clean that up for next week. Elsinore, of course, the CAF champs, their campaign as CAF champs going a little bit better than Colton's, 27-3 tonight over King.
King is struggling this year.
King lost. And also, a game we just saw, North, 48-10 over Colton. Colton is going to have to try and put the pieces back together after those first two games. Pauley, Ramona, Ramona was leading this game 17-7, I believe.
Going into the fourth.
Maybe I don't know if they thought the game was over. It got a little bit too caught up in the moment. Maybe 21-17, though. Ramona's going to have to come back firing back strong.
Dave Zink was saying there was some trash talking going on in that game. That one got
it was intense.
The crosstown rivalry going.
Charter Oak 35-28 over Roosevelt. They are now 2-0. A nice start for Charter Oak there.
Tight game throughout, I was told. Yeah, tied up
a
to
nice
the end.
win at home. 29 Palms just squeaks one out over Aquinas, 27-26. That was a thriller up there at 29 Palms. You know, they make them tough up there at the Marine base.
A thriller as well because there's a 30-minute lightning delay.
Oh, that is exciting. I did see that off in the distance at the Vista game that I was at. El Cajon Christian 34-0 over Linfield Christian. That's again Will's favorite team.
Ugly.
And Norda Vista loses to La Sierra 31-14. I had Norda Vista winning. Will had them winning.
He talked me into that one.
Man, I don't know. Rough two first games for them. And, of course, the offensive machine. 37-10 would be the Rancho Verde score. Mr. Hernandez, Will's favorite quarterback, continues to roll and dominate that offensive machine over there for Rancho Verde. Hemet loses again to Valley View, 24-14. Hemet's going to have to get a win pretty soon.
At some point, you would figure.
They're getting closer and closer, so they're bound to have one. And, of course, the not-so-surprising game of the night, 43-8. Dane Tiedemann, just a machine over there with Nick King and Palm Springs, undeniable, along with the genius play calling by Steve Fabian. Also, Cajon 52-0 over Eisenhower.
Cajon gets 2 defensive touchdowns in this game and a rush for 350
yards. All of Cajon
yards.
drank about 6 Red Bulls before the game based on that score. And Carter, 19-8 over Chaffee. That's an interesting score. And La Quinta now 0-2. Ooh, rough start for the DVL Blackhawks right there. 27-24 loss to Rialto. And Bloomington, another rough game for Lewis tonight. 47-25, the Broncos in their home opener at their brand new facility. But
Jontas Carter spoils the party for Bloomington, rushes for 195 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Just running like a machine out there tonight. Citrus Valley, this was last night over Xavier Prep. That was out in Palm Desert against Xavier Prep. Xavier Prep having trouble moving the ball against Citrus Valley as they get swept 39-0. Ontario loses a tough one to Rubidoux, 46-27. Ontario now 0-2 on the season. And that game was yesterday, excuse me.
Rubidoux gets back on track.
Rubidoux, impressive team. San Jacinto, Mr. Bill Powell got his 100th victory of the night, a big milestone for him.
They were down at halftime in that game. Nice comeback win for San Jacinto.
Nice to rally back for the old skipper there.
Or San Jacinto.
Yes, as Will likes to call him. Temescal, another favorite team of Will's, 48-39 over Tockwitz. Tockwitz now 0-2, Temescal 2-0.
Maybe another 300-yard rushing game for Shepard over there.
He's a machine. 35-14, a game that was close to Pep's heart. Redlands drops the game. The Terriers, Pep is not going to be able to sleep tonight after that rough loss.
Dante Dion, 218 yards on the ground.
Bloomington Christian, how about that? Running up the score 60-12. That was a high-scoring offensive powerhouse thriller. And Heritage, a team that we all like here, continuing to impress tonight with a 36-12 win. They played out at Rubidoux.
Yeah, Pep and I will catch up with Coach Broach later in the week, but Heritage gets the passing game back on track. Chad Virgil, 60-yard touchdown pass to Lamont Moore on that one.
The struggles continue for Canyon Springs. They got shut out tonight. Also had a rough game last week against Citrus Hill as well. The struggles continued against Yucaipa, who is looking pretty good, 2-0 so far.
Yeah, new coaching staff for Canyon Springs. Pete Garza's got to get things in order.
And Chaparral, a game that we knew was going to be tough for them, especially after last week's disappointing performance, and it's another loss for them, Will.
It's kind of out in the sticks. I haven't really gotten anything on that game yet, but yeah, I mean, one they weren't necessarily expected to win.
Hopefully they can turn things around next week. Escondido squeaks out the 1-point victory over Marietta Valley, 14-13.
Interesting in that one, actually the clock ran out of Marietta Valley. They were on the 10-yard line, had 9 seconds to go, had no timeouts left, couldn't get up to the ball.
Disappointing. Vista Marietta, of course, the game that we were at tonight, 31-28, a thriller as the 38-yard field goal would be the winner for the Broncos. Coley Candell definitely happy. He was probably pulling his hair out. I could tell he was during a lot of that fourth quarter, but probably happy to get the W nonetheless.
One of the few coaches in the area that still has some hair to pull out.
Yes,
right?
Very true. 35-0 would be Rancho Cucamonga over Great Oak. Great Oak, a team that we would have definitely expected a little bit more out of tonight.
Not against Rancho Cucamonga. They've been running over people, my friend.
Oof, Great Oak going to have to bounce back strong next week in Week 2 play. And that'll do it for the scores. As Will mentioned before, when we come back, we have a special guest from Rancho Verde. He will be joining us on the phone.
Yeah, Breon Redmond.
Mr. Breon Redmond. So make sure not to go anywhere. We have plenty more left on HS Game Time late night. Don't go anywhere.
We gotta be smarter about what we bite on, okay? I want everyone to go outside. We're gonna run Red Rover on 3.
What about you, Tony?
I'm gonna run around in circles, flatten my arms, and make engine noises like this.
When it comes to playing, we kids are the pros.
We're eating right, too.
We fuel up.
To play 60!
Your school doesn't have a program? Be a leader. Start one.
Click today and join the movement.
Get fired up for high school football with the Press Enterprise and HS Game Time. Follow the stats, standings, upcoming schedules, and scores. Check out our preview coverage every Thursday and upload your photos, videos, stories, and more with your high school friends at hsgametime.com. This is how we keep you connected to your community. The Press Enterprise and PE.com. For home delivery, call 1-800-794-NEWS.
What are your thoughts on Amistad and Zinc hosting that thing?
I think they're great. I love how they play off of each other and how they have a good time. So, but it kind of reminds me of the Channel 5 morning news. You know how they, at least a couple of years ago, they used to kind of screw around in there and have some fun. It just makes it fun to watch. You're lighthearted, and then plus you're getting the information you need.
So, what's it gonna be? We could ride bikes. Skating? Movies? Zoo? Whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
We're Polly Cheer, and you're watching HS Game Time Live.
We are your breaking news leader. News happens. Stay up to date with expanded coverage in the Press Enterprise delivered to your home. Follow the story throughout the day on PE.com. Receive news updates in your inbox or on your mobile device. That is how we keep you connected to your community. The Press Enterprise and PE.com. For home delivery, call 1-800-794-NEWS.
Oh, we're back hot. We had Pep out here adjusting our headsets a little bit. Pardon us for the malfunction on HS Game Time. Late night, Pep is trying to stay awake. He's eating a donut.
Getting his donut dinner on.
Getting his sugar going on. Another thing we got going on is talking some Rancho Verde football with a Mr. Breon Redmond. He is one of the wide receivers, part of that super all-star offensive attack over there at Rancho Verde, and he will be joining us right here on the phone. We're dialing him in right now on the HSGT late night phone, and he is joining us. Hello, Mr. Redmond. Breon, are you there?
I think so. We're still kind of working some technical. Oh, Breon, can you hear us, buddy?
Yep, I can hear it.
All right, man. Another big win tonight for you guys over San Gorgonio. Breon, and a big reason why we wanted to have you guys on is because you guys have come storming out of the gates. Last year had a pretty tight contest with, who was it, West Valley, 31-14. You blow them out in week one, shut them out 49-0. Talk about, coming out of the gate so hot. What's so different about this year for you guys?
This year, it's a lot of new talent, and, leaders want to step up. So everyone's after, the title, making us just more of a family, just getting the program together.
Breon, last year, Carlos, your quarterback, he was on JV, didn't get many reps at varsity, but he has really come out and kind of taken charge as the leader of this offense. Just talk a little about what he's done so far.
He's dedicated, and we get out 7-on-7s, going to UCLA, SC, and he wants to get better. He wants to really, just become the best, and he knows he is, and, he sends that motivation and determination to the other guys, so, and he's working hard. That's all I have to say.
Last year, after that heartbreaking loss to Colton in the final there in the CAF, did that just make you guys all that much more hungry to just come out and firing, guns blazing from the start?
Yeah, completely.
and Breon, you talked a little bit about the summer passing circuit. You guys made some noise in the offseason because of that performance in the UCLA camp. You guys go out and compete against the best. Do you really feel like this is a year where you can compete against the best, and you kind of proved it over that passing circuit this summer?
Yeah, I feel confident about the team we have this year. It's just game by day by day, game by game practice. Because practice is everything. I love it. Yeah.
Right, and I was chatting with Pete Duffy, your head coach, a little bit before we came on air here, and he was telling me that you recruiters wouldn't look at you twice if they saw you in your pads. Might be a little bit scrawny, but when you put the pads on, you light it up. Is that pretty good diagnosis? You kind of one of those scrawnier cats?
Yeah, I like to showcase my talent every night, and I just knowing I'm a small dude, you kind of get a bigger heart, So being in the pads, I just go all out.
You guys have so many offensive threats there in the passing game. Is it kind of a competition amongst you guys?
No, not really. We got a little brothership going on, and everyone's hungry. So the competition level is just in practice. Ones versus ones. You just get after it.
Right, and chat a little bit too, if you could, about the first time you realized you could throw a touchdown pass. It was last year. I believe I'm forgetting the game it was in, but you tossed your first touchdown pass last year, and you'd said you weren't sure if the play was going to work. Talk about did Pete come up to you and approach you about it? How did that come about?
Well, of course, practice. But coming out this year, Coach really wanted to utilize his weapons, and knowing that I can throw the ball and do all these other special things, it's really something that's going to help the team. And throwing touchdowns was something I truly love. But it's all good.
Right, and just chat a little bit about throwing the football. Did you petition to be the new quarterback after Travis Champion graduated?
Not really. I was pretty focused on catching some touchdowns, but it's still good to throw some.
Right. And lastly, buddy, where are you catching touchdown passes next year? Have any idea about where you're thinking for schooling?
No, I'm not sure yet.
And any idea? Have you getting any looks from anybody?
Not really. Back when I was a sophomore, I got a letter. Mm-hmm. I guess it's like an inspirational letter from Oregon, but nothing much really. Just keeping my head up is what I get. But it's all good.
Right. Good deal. So CIF championship or bust this year for you guys?
Yeah. I take a lot of pride into that because I know how hard we work and what we're capable of. So yeah,
do.
I believe a couple of your teammates were calling state title when we saw them out there before 0 week. You guys think maybe you could even go that far?
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said a couple of your teammates, we were out there the week before 0 week, they were calling state title. Are you going that far?
Well, yeah, we look forward to that. I stay game by game, but at the same time, we know where we're at. We know where, we can exceed, and it's really to state. We need to get the ring, of course, but we're looking for above and beyond.
There you go. And before I let you go, Breon, I got to razz Pete Duffy a little bit. He didn't think he'd be able to stay up this long. What are you doing right now? What kept you up, man?
Man, first interview, kind of, but I had a PB&J, had me energized real quick. So.
There you go, man. Little late night sugar buzz.
That's the new energy boost right there, the PB&J. All right, Breon, well, thanks for joining us tonight. Good luck to you the rest of the season at Rancho Verde. You guys so far don't look like you need much luck, but thanks for joining us tonight, Breon, and good luck.
All right, thanks, Coach.
I'm a coach.
Oh, that is the only time he's going
upgraded to coach.
He's not going to let anybody. He's not going to let us live that one down, are you?
Yeah, coach. I'm the new Bo Schembechler, I guess. Anyways, rolling on now with the show. Our next segment, when we come back after the break, is of course the breaking edge, cutting edge technology segment. It's called the social media segment. When Will shows us some of the Twitter, some of the Facebook, some of the message board chatter that we've been looking at as far as, high school game time prep football goes. Will take us into those web worlds.
Right. Got a little bit from one of the men of the night, Scott Starr at Norco. Big win for them, and we'll check out his Twitter page.
All right, we will check out our social media section is next. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. You are watching HS Game Time Late Night.
We gotta be smarter about what we bite on, okay? I want everyone to go outside. We're gonna run Red Rover on 3.
What about you, Tony?
I'm gonna run around in circles, flatten my arms, and make engine noises like this.
When it comes to playing, we kids are the pros.
We're eating right, too.
We fuel up.
To play 60!
If your school doesn't have a program, be a leader. Start one.
Click today and join the movement.
Get fired up for high school football with the Press Enterprise and HS Game Time. Follow the stats, standings, upcoming schedules, and scores. Check out our preview coverage every Thursday and upload your photos, videos, stories, and more with your high school friends at hsgametime.com. This is how we keep you connected to your community. The Press Enterprise and PE.com. For home delivery, call 1-800-794-NEWS.
What are your thoughts on Amestoy and Zinc hosting that thing?
I think they're great. I love how they play off of each other and how they have a good time. So, but it kind of reminds me of the Channel 5 morning news. How they, at least a couple of years ago, they used to kind of screw around in there and have some fun. It just makes it fun to watch. You're lighthearted, and then plus you're getting the information you need.
So, what's it gonna be? We could ride bikes. Skating? Movies? Zoo? Whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
We're Polly Cheer, and you're watching HS Game Time Live.
We are your breaking news leader. News happens. Stay up to date with expanded coverage in the Press Enterprise delivered to your home. Follow the story throughout the day on PE.com. Receive news updates in your inbox or on your mobile device. That is how we keep you connected to your community. The Press Enterprise and PE.com. For home delivery, call 1-800-794 News.
Welcome back to HS Game Time Late Night. Once again, I am Chris Erkley, and that is Will C. Holden, as we like to call him. And it is time for our social media segment. We take a look at Twitter, Facebook, the message boards, what's all the hot chatter about Inland Empire prep football. And Will, our first one comes from Norco.
It is, and a big win for Norco tonight, 21-20 on television, the old boob tube over Crenshaw. And Scott Starr's a really interesting kid. Is a guy that is a USC commit, probably one of the top recruits in our area. Had a lot of offers from all over the place, and is a guy that likes to pattern himself actually after one of your favorite players, an NFL player, as we all know how much Chris Erkley likes.
For the hair, just like myself.
Right, exactly. And Scott was a guy who cut it all off actually. Initially, and then is trying to grow it back now and trying to get into that USC mindset. And he's a guy that has some fun with his Twitter page. I mean, I think we've got some photos of his Twitter photos, I guess, lined up. He's taken a shot of a few of his teammates, caught him off guard a little bit. One's a shot. He had one of his friends who was falling asleep in class. And he told him,
never
if he kept,
good to do.
Yeah,
You'll get in trouble with the teacher, and there might be a camera
there
in the
it is.
room right there.
There's the
Doing
one.
the old Rip Van Winkle in history class.
And so, yeah, Starr said if he was napping again, he was going to get him, and sure enough, now he's on HS Game Time.
Maybe he was just in intense meditation. He was so overwhelmed by the material he was taking.
Yeah, that water, I've heard, makes you a little bit drowsy.
He might have been listening to a story about Hemet from Lewis and fell right asleep. And
another picture that he's caught, another one of his teammates seems to use his little side door in his car as a trash can, as we now see here.
Green friendly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who needs a trash can when you've just got it at the side of your car door?
Of course. This guy is a skilled photographer, I gotta say. We gotta get him on staff here.
I guess so, right? And then the last one, the all-important shake weights. I believe Scott Starr is doing a promo for the shake weight. I'm not sure if we have that photo lined up as well. Yeah,
there we go.
Was in the Norco gymnasium.
I think that was the secret to their win tonight, probably.
I don't see why it wouldn't have been. But anyway, we got a chance, as we said, to talk with Scott and got him on the hook a little bit, talking about the hair. As you see, it's coming back in from the mug, and we'll maybe roll that clip if we've got one here real quick, Mr. Dave Zink. I don't know if we've got
technical difficulties. We do not have the clip.
Didn't have the audio clip rolled in there.
Will tell us what he said, though.
Yeah, I mean, he just said it's kind of like his alter ego, sort of a deal where, when he's off the field, he combs it, lets it be nice and pretty. When he gets on the field, it gets ratty, and he's laying people out. So that's Scott Starr, and he's a regular tweeter. Not just with the photo stuff. Is always kind of bantering back and forth.
Had some showering with the Gatorade
exactly,
bottle.
matting the hair up to get the persona going. But he's a great follow and definitely one to check out if you're ever trying to get on the Twitterverse in the Empire high school sports region.
Very good. Make sure you guys out there follow him. It should be pretty entertaining. Another entertaining one was the chatter on the message boards regarding Chaparral's heartbreaking loss last week against Cajon. Will, a lot of talk about the struggles for Chaparral.
Yeah, I mean, there were some of it was intelligent. I mean, some of it talking about, the reasons why Chaparral struggled against the Wildcat formation from, as we see a little bit here, DeMonte Casey was the guy that was just absolutely running wild here. And I'm going to have to break for one of these highlights, and I think it's this one because number 19, Cole Perkins, gets lit up on this play first right here.
Shake
a little bit. And,
whoa.
It's not just getting your ankles broken, but your face smacked at the same play.
The old concussion after that one.
But, obviously, Chaparral struggled and had to catch up a little bit with some of the chatter. I mean, Chaparral always sort of a hated-on team because of what Tommy Leach did over there. Was a guy that was never shy about telling people what he thought they could do.
Off a lot.
Exactly, and there's some holdovers from the Leach regime, at least in the fan perspective. Some of the message boards, there's some big toppers from, or talkers, I should say, from Chaparral. And there's a lot of people that think they
what
could
were
have.
some of the top hot comments?
Yeah, some of the comments just talking about Chaparral. They've got a lot of workout warriors, but not necessarily a ton of football players. And guys that like DeMonte Casey that can really break down a defense. And I think we've got a screenshot of one of the blog topics that was really interested in showing you guys. Or maybe we don't.
Maybe we don't. False alarm.
But there was on Section Sports. It's one of the go-to message boards for rivals on one of the rivals Southern Section sites, and there was one gentleman who had said, Chaparral is kind of a team that glides along, and if you run right at them, they're going to have some struggles. And we were actually able to catch up with Cajon head coach Kim Batten just to kind of ask him, what was he a guy that kind of said, yeah, this is what we're going to try and do, and that's sort of the strategy we're going to take. And we caught up with him on the phone as well. I don't know if we've got that queued up. It's been a tough segment for
a tough segment on the
cues.
Technological end.
No, we've got another highlight though.
Who we have? Mr. Batten. We don't. We have Will and Chris.
For Kim, it was a situation where he said basically what he thinks preparing his team is that they're going to play Colton for a championship every year, as we talked about earlier. Might not be the case this year, but Colton is a team that's a big, strong, bulky team like that. And, if you run right at them, you're going to be in trouble. But if you kind of get them in space a little bit, he says, some of those big guys don't like it so much when they're in space. And that was something that Casey was able to do, get some of the big Chaparral defenders a little uncomfortable, and they were able to run all over Chaparral.
Well, plenty of chatter about Chaparral out there on the World Wide Web, and plenty of chatter about plenty of other teams here in the Inland Empire. Will be tracking those aggressively throughout the week. So that we can bring you some more exciting chatter. If you're out there on Twitter, Facebook, maybe bring it to Will's attention. Will, if you want to give the people your email.
Email's wholden@pe.com. You can also follow me on Twitter. It's Will_C_Holden. I'm not going to talk about the lady fans this week because we already mentioned that last week. But
he got too many. He had
exactly.
Scarlett Johansson and Natalie Portman, and he's tied between the two now.
Right.
Along with the Ingval situation.
Right.
Anyways, moving on now from our social media segment, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we have the people's favorite. It's the You Pick 'em. We take a look at who was the genius of the week when it came to picking this week's winners. I know Will and I had a couple tough ones. We'll see who's top overall. We'll see who's top from HS Game Time. And also we will have the star performers of the night. Take a look at some of the top dogs out there. Just like our old friend, the Prep Dog. He's a top dog every week. No need to mention that.
Maybe Coach Erkley will make top.
Yeah,
top
Coach. I know I'm the coach now. I didn't know that. I don't know what school I am for, but I went to Palm Springs, but I'm pretty sure Steve Fabian is calling the shots over there. Anyways, we'll take a look at all that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You're watching HS Game Time Late Night.
We gotta be smarter about what we bite on, okay? I want everyone to go outside. We're gonna run Red Rover on 3.
What about you, Tony?
I'm gonna run around in circles, flat my arms, and make engine noises like this.
When it comes to playing, we kids are the pros.
We're eating right, too.
We fuel up.
To play 60!
Your school doesn't have a program? Be a leader. Start one.
Click today and join the movement.
Get fired up for high school football with the Press Enterprise and HS Game Time. Follow the stats, standings, upcoming schedules, and scores. Check out our preview coverage every Thursday and upload your photos, videos, stories, and more with your high school friends at hsgametime.com. This is how we keep you connected to your community. The Press Enterprise and PE.com. For home delivery, call 1-800-794-NEWS.
What are your thoughts on Amistad and Zinc hosting that thing?
I think they're great. I love how they play off of each other and how they have a good time. So, but it kind of reminds me of the Channel 5 morning news. You know how they, at least the a couple years ago, they used to kind of screw around in there and have some fun. It just makes it fun to watch. You're lighthearted, and then plus you're getting the information you need.
So, what's it gonna be? We could ride bikes, skating, movies, zoo, whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
We're Polly Cheer, and you're watching HS Game Time Live.
We are your breaking news leader. When news happens, stay up to date with expanded coverage in the Press Enterprise delivered to your home. Follow the story throughout the day on PE.com. Receive news updates in your inbox or on your mobile device. That is how we keep you connected to your community. The Press Enterprise and PE.com. For home delivery, call 1-800-794-NEWS.
Everybody, welcome back to HS Game Time Late Night. I am Chris Erkley. This is Will. In our final segment, it's our favorite segment. It's time for the You Pick 'em segment. You guys picked them, the winners or the losers, throughout the week, and now we take a look at who knew what they were talking about.
Not this guy.
Not me, not Will, but Dr. Pete Chinkoska.
No, he's going to butcher it again.
Chachonsky. Pardon me, Dr. Chachonsky. Did not get your name right. He's a chiropractor. Hopefully he doesn't crack my bones for getting that one wrong. Anyways, he was the 2010 champ. No coincidence. He was 22-3. Red hot. As red hot as my hair is tonight on his picks. 22-3. And we want to give a shout out over here to the local genius for HS Game Time, Jeff Perenni. He was 22-3 as well, second overall
he gives us
in
the
the
fist bump,
entire
the double fist
situation. And of course, looking at our specialists, now it's a battle between Will and Pep at the bottom. Lewis somehow dug his way out of the cellar. He's in the middle of the pack. And I am right there with Lewis. It's Jeff, the good doctor. Can we get that back up, please? It's Jeff, the good doctor, EPJ, at the top. That's
really testing Chris's vision. He's like at the eye doctor right now.
We've got the font on like -2. We can barely see it, but Lewis somehow dug himself out of the cellar. I don't have the Drew Carey glasses like Zinc, so I can't read that 1.1 font. Anyways,
we've got some visitors that are.
We've got a party. Oh, we got Jeff Perenni coming in.
The house.
He's coming to Bose. He's coming to Bose. Can we get him on screen?
Get the shot. Get the screenshot
Number
here.
1. No wonder he's the boss around here.
Now we've got the
he's coming
shot.
back out. He wants to puff his chest a little bit.
Hey,
right there.
Baby, number 1.
I'm going to say it was insider trading, Martha Stewart style.
It's my boss right there, everybody.
He has something going on. We're going to have to launch an investigation into this. Anyways, now, pick 'em. If you haven't joined, it's on HS Game Time. Where you are right now, you are on the site. If you are watching this, go down to the left-hand side on the middle of the page, and you will be able to sign up. Try and
not
catch
this page, but one of the other pages.
One of the other pages. You can maybe catch up to Pep. Pep, another rough week for Pep. I think
he's closing his eyes and making his picks.
We did say if Lewis was last again that he would be buying lunch for everyone. Is Pep buying lunch?
No,
Pep
big
is
thumbs
not
down.
He's got to pay for the kids and the wife. He's got to take them out for a nice country club dinner on Sundays, so he can't afford it.
And since we're all, boasting, apparently, I'd just like a quick qualifier for all you people out there that are wondering just how late you can make your picks. Apparently, you can't make them on Friday.
Yeah, we'll learn that the hard way.
So, I would cross-reference. If you have your Thursday paper, look at the picks I made there. Those are my real picks. The picks I made were with the majority, and clearly the majority did not rule this particular Friday.
Some wild card scenarios. A lot of people had Centennial winning. Maybe one had St. Bonnie. I think Lewis was the only guy.
Lewis had St. Bonnie.
Wow, Lewis surprisingly
What
got
a pick
one
against
right
Matt Logan.
for a change.
Might have to let our promo guy know that.
Oh, it was an
Wasn't
accidental Centennial pick. It was an accident. No wonder Lewis got it right. It was an accident. We know Dave Zink definitely picked Centennial because he had lunch with Mr. Coach Logan on Thursday.
He's doing
had
the Taylor
had a candlelit
Swift
dinner.
Hearts.
Valentine's Day is far from over, but Zink already knows who his Valentine is.
Yeah.
Coach Logan.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on from that part of the always exciting Pick'em segment, it's Star Performers, a favorite of our boss, Mr. Nels Jensen. He put this piece together. Star Performers of the Night. From Valley View, Michael Harrison.
Was a guy we really liked from the Passing Circuit this summer.
I put a lot of miles on my car driving from
the
Palm
police maybe
Springs
as well.
to Riverside. But look at this guy. He was putting some mileage on in the running game tonight. 200-plus yards rushing and 2 touchdowns from Michael Harrison. And
I've seen this guy's car. He's not getting far running from.
And Mr. Carter, out at Bloomington, 15 carries with 195 yards. Another big assault there on the ground.
Against Banning.
From Chaparral, they fell short tonight, but Chris Stratton was strapping it on for a big receiving night with 212 yards and 12 receptions.
That was on the spot, by the way. He did not write that highlight.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much. And Tyler Rasa, old golden foot out there at Vista Marietta with the game-winning 38-yard field goal. I was out there at that play. I saw that baby go through the uprights, and it was for sure good to go. I texted it to Dave Zink. He couldn't believe it. He fell out of his chair. But Vista Marietta,
sure the chair
Coley
just didn't
Kendall,
break. I don't know.
Coley Kendall, I'm sure he bought him the McDonald's McNugget meal after a kick like that. A nice prize for a game winner. And La Sierra, Johnny Salazar, 213 passing yards, 3 touchdowns in the win.
Paying no attention to the man with the red hair over here.
And Santana, not related to Carlos, Gonzalez from Jurupa Valley, 19 carries, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 95-yard kickoff return. The guy's going to have to nap for a week after doing all that. Paris, Tofi.
Ooh.
How do you say the last name?
Tawamata.
Tawamata.
Every syllable in the
sir.
Samoan names.
Blocked field goal with 18 seconds left. That was a big part of their game tonight, along with 2 sacks, just locking it down.
Should also reference he plays offensive line as well, so maybe a few pancakes to throw in there. Yeah.
And my favorite name, Chris Fooey. Fooey on you, he said, as he ran for 17 carries and 153 yards. And Riverside North, we know they can play baseball. How about football? Justin George, 4 TDs, 246 yards. Just passing, looking like, as I made that Jeff George reference earlier, it spells the name different. Hopefully they pronounce it the same. A star performance out there at North.
You're, of course, assuming that they do, I'd imagine.
Yes, I'm assuming. But, we do that sometimes here on this show. Lewis assumes that, Hemet and Banning will win, and they usually don't. But that's what we do around here. Anyways, it was a star-studded night. We had from Lewis to Pep.
Some cameos.
To Zink, Perenni, Mr. Jeff Perenni. He is just, we're going to have to look into that whole insider trading on the score thing.
He's got some connections. I know that he owns Temecula down there, basically.
Yeah, and he had the scores. Did he have it?
I think he took a few of those into Pachanga, maybe, made a few bucks on them. Who knows?
Watch out. Vegas is coming over to Pachanga. Anyways, that'll do it for the week 1. Week 1 was even more amazing than week 0. Couple exciting games, of course, that Vista finish. Centennial had a heartbreaker, but they'll be back firing on all cylinders at Mater Dei. That'll be a clash between 2 SoCal Titans next week for sure.
Absolutely.
Will, anything else you're looking forward to in week 2?
Looking forward to seeing what's going on in week 2. We're focused on the present here.
Yeah, Will's all about the here and the now.
One game at a time, one show at a time, Coach.
But he will not go home, or he will not go to sleep tonight until he has mastered the Week 2 schedule. But for now, you have seen enough of us until next Friday. Make sure beginning at 9 o'clock next Friday, you lock it into hsgametime.pe.com for HS Game Time Live. Lewis will be rocking the microphone, and Dave Zink will be spinning the ones and the twos. From the start at 9 o'clock, he will be joined by Pep, EPJ, Prep Dog, myself, Will. Who knows who else? Now that I've been upgraded to my coach status, so I don't know, I may be calling plays from the sidelines. Perhaps I'm going to have to renegotiate my contract, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get some of that modern day money, I think.
Yeah. Maybe negotiate some new shirts into the deal, too, here.
These are silk. They're Norwegian silk,
Imported.
a very rare type of thread. Anyways, that does it for us tonight on HS Game Time Late Night. Be sure to lock it in 9 to who knows what time it is right now, 1:30. We'll have it rocking all night long next Friday for Week 2. So for Week 1, it was a success. For Will, I'm Chris. You're watching HS Game Time Late Night, and we'll see you next week.